Hey, I just wanted to show you quick, mate. I'm not doing much the last week or so. I was sitting there just out of frustration, wanting to do something. I used that, and at the last minute, I just used that just to prise it up. But that's for the 18-volt battery charger. I've marked it up, so I know I've got to put one extra pin in there to make it work. But I very carefully went down the side with a Stanley knife and that little saw there, and I pulled it apart. Nothing's broken or whatever. All I've got to do is solder on two better quality wires than what that is. I just got to solder on two extra wires and put one extra pin in, and that will be ready to use on the little MX5. And on the side case, I think probably at the moment the only thing I thought is cut a little section out, put a bit of clear perspex in it, just so you can look through and see whether it's charging or charged, or if both lights are flashing, it means there's something wrong with it. But yeah, that can just clip straight on. 18-volt battery will just go, you pull out the 12-volt one, put the 18-volt one in there, and I'm going to rig that up with the wires I need on it so you can charge it with the proper charger through a charge port. So I'm just going to stuff around with this one and see what sort of mess I make of it. That's why I took the punt and see if I could get that apart without smashing it all up, and it all goes back together well. But yeah, I'm not doing too much the last week or so. But anyway, I just thought I'd give you a bit of catch up. I'm still sort of working on the 18-volt thing, because I think once the little ones get the hang of it, they're going to want the extra power. Okay, so I got a bit bored this morning. I started to make up, put this 18-volt battery in. I've got the two positives, two negatives. I've used one of these that carry 4 wires, so it's nice and neat, clicks together. I've marked it all up for the positive negative on one side and the positive negative charger on the other side. I've already got these little pin ones already locked in. They're locked in nice and tight, so it should be really easy. And I think I'll probably set the other battery up the same sort of connector, so you can just swap from one battery to the other if you want to. So that's it, all done now. So I've got the wires around the right way, so that's the positive and the negative all lined up for the power piece for power, and on the other side I got C, that's for the charger. Pretty basic sort of setup, but at least I can disconnect it, and if I set the 12-volt lead acid battery up the same way, you can just plug one in and plug one out, like bloody easier. Anyway, I'll see how I go. Okay, just a quick little update. Had a bit of a stuff around with this morning. I've cut the slot in there. You can see it right there. So I've cut the slot, and now I can push that pin through. But the pin's a bit wide, so where I've got the wire coming in from the back, I've had to slot it up a little bit and slot it down a little bit, and as you can see, it just lines up perfect straight through the hole, so I can get my other power lead through. So that's all I've done today. All I've got to do is I put a bit of heat shrink on there just in case anything goes amiss inside this thing here. I've got this all ready to go. I think I'm going to cut these cables down a lot shorter. As usual, better off leaving it long than starting off short. So I think at this point I'm going to probably cut them off around about here, and that will fit just straight on top of the battery, and then I can work out how long I need these leads. But yeah, coming up okay this morning, pretty sweet. That was the hardest thing, was to actually find a really nice tough blade, but I found one in my box of bits, and that'll do it for today. Okay, just one other quick thing I just thought of, the brain kicked in again. I'm going to start connecting these wires up, which is fine. I'm just connecting them up to this end of the plug, but the other end, if they touched, you get a big bang out of an 18-volt lithium battery. So I just put all those little terminator plugs on so we don't get any big bang. I know I could just pull the plug apart, but if I happen to drop that onto the bench and it hit a screwdriver, bango, off we go again. So just done that at the moment, and that's it for the day. Okay, yarn, I had to, I've pretty well done it now. I've even put a little bit of heat shield in between the two positives, so there's no way they can ever touch. I've put heat shield over the pins. I had to take these pins out of that carrier because it just wasn't going to be, I just couldn't line the wires up to put the, to braze them up. So I just put these pins on the three of them. So I drilled a hole to line them up, put heat shield over them, pushed them straight through, lined them up. I've just got it all laying there in that non-conductive silicon, so I can just sort of set over a day or two, and then there's no worries of any wires sort of coming loose, touching, whatever. Plus the water's all connected out of it. All that's all connected up, and mate, she's just about ready for a tryout on one of the bikes. So yep, so far so good. I'm happy with that. Okay, so there she is, all finished. So there's my 18-volt lithium battery, all ready to go. Sorry about the wobble and everything. So doubled up the negative. So I've got a negative on either side. I've kept the two positives separate. One's for the charger and one's for the power. So I've got these ones set up on here. The negative's doubled up from one side to the other, so it works on both. The powers are separate, and on the flip side, if I just push that around, that's for the charging side. I've put these on the end of it just so I don't short any wires out. I'll have to put this connection on the Razor bike, and then I can put this connection on the 12 volt 12 amp hour battery, and then I can swap them over. Probably just take about half an hour or so, pull the plate off the side and put them in. But the charge lights and charging light all work. I've used this good old stuff, this 705 silicon. It's a thermal one, and it's meant to basically all your electronics you see in the back of your boards on different things you've got at home, and it's got this silicon over the top. No, it's not standard stuff, so it's all marked up. It can be all disconnected. Pretty hard with one hand, but anyway, believe me, it can be disconnected. I've got the pins in there, and there she goes. She's all ready to bolt up straight into the Razor for the kids as they get a little bit older. And I'll put a bit of a link in there with the battery I use to the type of connection, because that'll be the charger from now on whenever this battery's in it. I was looking at trying to put in a two-way switch so I can bolt this in and use the other battery as well, and yeah, just too involved for a little kid's bike, so I'm just leaving it as simple as I can. As the little 4-year-old granddaughter gets a bit older and a bit more confident, she can move up to the 18 volt, and the youngest granddaughter, she's only 2, so I'll just swap the batteries back over, because by that time my older granddaughter will be onto the bigger bikes. Alright, thanks. Now this 705 stuff is supposed to put up with, if you put the translator on your Apple phone, that'll actually tell you what's written on there. But and also tells you what's written on there. But as you can see, it says -50 to 200 degrees centigrade. So just a little bit of a bench test just to muck around with this stuff, and I'll give it a bit of heat. So we'll whack some heat on there, and yeah, starting to get a little bit of a flame happening. But yeah, it doesn't actually catch fire, it goes out. So yeah, if you've got a short in your battery, but so long as you've got it on a fuse line, by rights, that is not going to catch fire. Okay, just trying out for the charger sitting there. Look, these are just super easy. By the time you pull it out of the holder, you've already got the solder on the end of the wires. These ones here just screw together. They're marked out positive, negative, just making sure that the positive terminal is the center, and put that in there, and there we go. We've got our 21 volts. Everything's all good. I'll just put a bit of heat shield over the top of that and make sure it's all secure. But mate, that was so easy to do rather than soldering on all the other wires. Well, they're both done. They both got their rear flashes, and you can change the little mode in them, and that's it for me for the day.